Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Forget Baselworld, forget the latest bust down AP or those hideous jewel encrusted rainbow Rolexes. Do not concern yourself with the 12 new limited edition Omega Speedmasters that they've released so far this morning. This is the most hotly anticipated new watch of 2019 in the Just One More Watch household anyway. I reviewed my first Helm, the Vanuatu, 12 months ago, and it's safe to say that it rocked my world. I've been making watch review videos on the channel for about a year, and when the Helm arrived, it completely reframed my expectations. It redefined what I knew it was possible to buy in a $300 US watch. It is just an incredible timepiece. I then reviewed the Kuraburi a couple of months later, and it is just as good. The only problems with the Helm brothers are that A, you can't buy them because they're always out of stock, and B, they're a little bit big and a little bit chunky, both 42, 43 mil and well over 200 grams. If, like me, you prefer a slightly smaller dive style watch, around 40 mil, they might have been a little bit imposing for you. Enter the dragon, the Komodo. I have been avidly watching the sneak peeks of this one appear on the Helm website, as I'm sure some of you have as well, and I'm delighted to present a Just One More Watch YouTube exclusive review today. I'm the first reviewer to get their grubby mitts on a brand new white dial Komodo. Now, it just arrived in Sydney. It only got here on Friday. This is Sunday. I haven't had long to play with it, so a bit of an unboxing today. Initial impressions, I'll get it on wrist. It's not going to be the full review video with movement accuracy report and so on. Let's flip the camera and have a look at it. Okay then, here it is. I've just picked it up from the post office. It is indeed Friday afternoon. I thought I'd film this in two parts. I'll unbox it today, peel off the stickers, size it up, wear it for a day. I'm afraid that's all I can manage before producing the video, and come back tomorrow with my impressions therefore at the back end of today's vid. So let's get into it then. Helm, from memory, these outer packages are almost impossible. Oh no, there we go. Not too bad today. So why was I so impressed with the Vanuatu and the Kuraburi then? What was it about those watches that kind of reframed my expectations of the $300 wristwatch? Oh, there we go. Well, the build quality, apart from anything else, the build quality is just outstanding. I kept using the words over-engineered and overbuilt in my videos because that's really how the watches feel. Personal touches there from Matt. He includes a little thank you card with every watch that he sells, I believe, not just to me. And there is the Komodo. Now, three colorways of this one. There's a black dial with white lume, there's a black dial with blue lume, which I think looks a little bit odd, or this white dialed one, and I thought this was the one to go for. I don't have any white in my collection. This one is definitely staying in the collection, so I thought I'd go for the white dial version. I believe they're also doing a couple of different bezels. There's a stainless steel bezel option you can add on. There's a nylon strap here. He also chucked in the rubber strap. So I'll show you on all of these tomorrow once I get the stickers off. And there it is then. Let me peel off the face protector and we can have a look at this one. So 40 mil in diameter this, but it's a chunky little thing. Still looks like it's about 16 mil thick. Let's check the bezel action. Wow, that is super solid. There we go, looks great. And I do like that blue colored lume. I'll do a full lume video for you as well shortly with this one. So three different strap options with the Komodo then. The bracelet and one of these single pass Zulus comes with the package. I believe these rubber straps are an add-on. I think they cost a little less if you buy them with the watch. They're about $25. Now, these two look generic at the moment, don't they? But they're not. There's a little bit of covert Helm branding on the underside of the Zulu fasteners, and the same on the underside of the rubber strap. Very nice touches, as always, from Helm. But I'm a bracelet guy through and through, so this is where my interest lies today, in this bracelet, and it looks typically high quality, very nice indeed. Chamfered edges, Helm branding on the retaining clasp, and we've got a ratcheting diver's extension. Let's peel off some stickers, shall we?
Okay, plenty of protection on it, so you're unlikely to take receipt of your bracelet with any scratches on it. Let's size it up. Screw links on this one. And you're even provided with a screwdriver and a little bag of spares. So we've got a couple of spare screws for the bracelet, one spare spring bar in addition to the two that are already in the watch, and I believe these two are bespoke spring bars for the bracelet. Drilled lugs on the case, making all of this easier. Okay, so we're back 24 hours later, and I've got a reasonable set of first impressions of the Helm Komodo that I am going to relay to all of you. There's a lot to like about this watch. There's the typical Helm build quality and outrageous loom. However, there are a couple of things that I don't like so much about the Helm Komodo. One of which I think is easily rectified. Indeed, I have taken steps to rectify it already. The other one, well, I think there's a couple of points that you need to take on board if you are keen on picking up one of these for yourself. Let's get on with it. I showed you some, but not all of the paraphernalia that the watch comes with earlier on. Instruction manual, little Helm branded polishing cloth, a couple of nice stickers, and a warranty card. Now this one was supplied to me at no charge. Big thank you to Matt from Helm for sending me this one in for review. And ISO tested. Again, these watches are 300 meter ISO rated dive watches, tested individually by Matt and numbered and dated, etc, etc. Again, another outstanding feature of a watch that costs less than $300 US. And the build quality is just fantastic. So 40 millimeters in diameter. We've got a thickness of, it was about 15.3 mil thick, I measure it. Lug tip to lug tip of 46.5, but as you can see, drilled lugs bringing that inboard just slightly. 20 millimeter lug width, so they've matched the 40 with a 20, which I think is a good call. 2020, so there's no taper on this bracelet, and it is a rather hefty clasp, shall we say, on the bracelet. I will come back to this later on. Back up to 23 mil at the clasp. Sized up for me, 7-inch wrist. This one weighs in at a not inconsiderable 195 grams. So 316 stainless steel case, crown, bezel, case back, solid links with screw pins, solid end links, and that solid clasp as noted. The entire thing is pretty solid. And lovely machining on the case and bezel, lovely finishing. All brushed finishes, which is the Helm way. Nice fine brushing on the side, brushed on the lugs. Great finish on that bezel. And a really good grippy crown. So kind of semi-shrouded, semi-crown guarded. Plenty of grip there. And you've got the Helm logo embossed in the end. Very nice, a pleasure to use. Zoomed right in on the dial, and I'm delighted that I opted for this polar model. I think it is super legible and a very clean design. There's a lot going on with this one. They've gone for the Kuroburi's kind of cartoony, in-your-face, pumped-up look, but I think they've translated it very nicely to the smaller watch. It all works pretty well for me. So we've got a mixture of printed and applied. Helm logo is printed. Divers 300 meters automatic because, as noted, it is an ISO certified dive watch. But we've got applied indices. Plenty of that ice blue loom. In fact, let me pop up the loom video early today. Helm watches known for the loom. I thought the Vanuatu was good until I saw the Kuroburi, and then there's this one. I mean, just an outrageous amount of loom. Plenty of real estate on the hands and the dial given over to the loom. Fully loomed ceramic bezel insert as well. Just superb for a loom pig like me. Other detailing on the dial is very nice. There's that Untitled Chapter ring there in white with black Arabic script, just denoting the minute track and the 5-minute markers as well. And a great handset, black on white, super legible, everything nicely, neatly integrated and matching. They've even integrated the date window down there at the 6 o'clock very neatly, as you can see. Little cutout. They even managed to keep a little bit of loom on the index as well, which is great. Now popping a link to show you a beautiful, deep etched but very simple stainless steel screw down case back. All the usual adverts, Komodo, Divers 300, ISO certified and stainless steel. Nice and simple. Now the movement contained in this one, as with all the other Helms, is the steadfast and reliable Seiko NH35. 24 joules, hacked hand winds, roughly 40-hour power reserve. These ones out of the box have a stated accuracy of -20 to +40. As noted, I haven't had this one long enough to run an accuracy report. Most of them I've found though are within plus or minus 10, and you can always regulate them fairly simply yourself if you need more accuracy than that. Finishing on the solid link, solid end link bracelet is perfectly acceptable for the price. Not super fine, perhaps you can see a distinct straight brush there, but certainly in keeping with the rest of the watch and in keeping with the price tag, and screw links there as noted, no problems operating those with the supplied screwdriver. And there it is on wrist, chunky but funky. Everything you know and love about Helm, that kind of big, tooly, over-engineered aesthetic that they tend to go for in a slightly smaller and more manageable package. Zoomed higher for perspective, you're not going to forget you're wearing this one at 195 grams, and you're not going to have problems reading it even from a distance as well. Polar dial, super legible, those big black hands against that all-white dial. I think it looks crisp, I think it looks great. This all sounds fantastic, Jody. You said there were a couple of problems. Tell us about the problems. Well, I haven't rolled my wrist over yet, have I? Look at the size of that clasp. It is enormous. Perhaps a touch of context will help here. This is the bracelet and clasp from a Seiko SKX 007. So 22 down to 18, back up to about 19.5 at the clasp. This is the bracelet and clasp from my EMG Nemo. 20 down to 18, back up to about 21 at a very nice clasp. That is the bracelet and clasp from the Helm Komodo. 2020 back up to 23 and just enormously long. So not only is it wider, but it's much, much longer than either of the others. And unfortunately, I think it is just too big. It dominates the watch. And because of the diver's extension, there's another couple of compromises in it. I mean, it's nicely manufactured, it's nicely done, it all feels pretty solid. Even the diver's extension feels pretty good in operation. Rattles a little bit, but don't they all when they're that style? However, because there is a solid metal bar underneath, the scissor clasp mechanism can't tuck inside the clasp itself, so it does protrude a little bit further than it should do, and you're also compromised by these three rather oddly located micro adjusts on the end of the clasp there. For me anyway, it just doesn't work on a 40mm watch. Too thick, too chunky, and this bit sticks out, leaving a slightly odd gap on the underside of your wrist. But thankfully, as mentioned, there is a solution to this problem, and it comes from Helm directly. You can pick up one of these FC1 clasps. Now this is the clasp as fitted to the Vanuatu and the Kuraburi. Not quite sure why they made a smaller watch and yet felt the need to put even more clasp on it. For $20 it fixes my problem with the size of the clasp and also provides 6 micro adjust holes. I think it'll be a much better solution. It'll probably take 10-15 grams off the weight of the watch as an added bonus as well. Okay, so at least there was a solution, an in-house solution at that, to the first of the problems that I have with the Komodo. What about the second one? Well, it comes from the lug positioning. Drilled lugs they may be, but they sit very, very low in the case. And this becomes an issue if you do want to take it off the bracelet. And here is the watch on the optional rubber strap. No problem swapping it over because of the drilled lugs, but it does sit very, very low. That means you get to see a lot of the side case, including the little step there, which looks a bit unusual. And I think that translates to an unusual look when you get it on wrist as well. You see what I mean? It's a 15mm watch, but the lugs sit almost at the bottom of the case, so you've got a full 1.5 centimeters sticking above where the strap is mounted. You see all of this case, you see the little step, it just looks like it's bobbling on top of your wrist. The strap doesn't really look like it's integrated with the watch at all. And it's a similar story when you get it on the One Piece Zulu. I do like these, by the way, and they take a chunk of weight off the watch, but it does sit a little bit high and you can see so much of that case. I can't help but feel that they'd have been better just pushing the lug holes a little further in towards the case a little bit higher. But enough moaning. I guess they did it in order to keep the lug to lug very short, in keeping with the 40mm size of the watch. However, they haven't really made it any lighter than the Vanuatu or the Kuraburi, and they've overbuckled it as noted. So a couple of decisions that don't seem that cohesive as part of the overall design of this one. Oh, and the top links are a little bit sticky. So does that mean I'm disappointed with the Komodo then? Does that mean I don't recommend that you rush out and buy one of the 400 units that have been made? No, definitely not. I mean, it's still an outstanding watch for the cash. There's nothing else on the market at $300 that is built like a Helm. I promise you that. ISO certified, all the right specs, the right choice of movement, I believe, incredible loom, great build quality, and it looks fantastic. It's just not quite the Komodo that I was hoping for at this stage. I've ordered one of those FC1 clasps. This one will go back in its box for a week or so until it arrives, and I'm sure when I swap this one over for the more compact unit with more adjustment, it'll sit better on the wrist, it'll be lighter, it'll be the Komodo that I was hoping for in the first place. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.